Hey guys, one more video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy Thursday afternoon. I hope everyone's all right. I hope everyone is okay, looking after themselves. Obviously, looking forward to the game this evening. Obviously, Liverpool versus Tottenham, the second leg of the EFL Cup, 8 p.m. UK time. Sorry, I think it's on ITV this evening. I'm really looking forward to this game. My anxiety isn't, I won't lie to you, my anxiety is telling me something completely different than looking forward to it. It's a game that I think, look, you've got to be in it to win it when it comes to these tournaments, be it a cup competition, a domestic competition, European football, hell, even international football. If you want to win these tournaments, at some point, you got to beat the big boys. And look, yes, we are factored into being a big boy, but you are also factoring in there's 5 other in the Premier League, or in England, to be fair. There's 5 others: Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester City, Manchester United, and, of course, Liverpool. Now, yes, no, don't get me wrong. Spurs and Manchester United aren't acting like big boys in the Premier League at the moment. And, Chelsea for a little while haven't. And, Liverpool have had a few slip-ups here and there, and Arsenal. Doesn't matter. When it comes to cup football, league form is irrelevant. It really is. It helps, but it's not gonna win you a game. Going in with some momentum helps, but it's not going to win you the game. What wins you the game on a cup day is who wants it more. Now, you're going to have 45, 50,000. I think it's about 50,000 Anfield at the moment, that extension. You can have about 45,000 Liverpool fans at it. Okay, you can have a few thousand Spurs fans who are going to make great noise, because our away fans always make great noise. But you need to give them something to shout about. You need to give them something to get on on board with and grab a hold of. It could be a shot from distance that, it forces a really good save. It could be sliding in and making a great challenge and winning a 50-50. It could be all sorts like that. It's something to hold on to, and it gives your fans something to get at, and in turn that translates as energy to you. So you've got to give those guys something to shout about, which I think that the players will. Now, look, are we healthy? No. Are Liverpool healthy? As healthy as you could hope for, really, at this point in the season. I know they're missing Trent. I totally get them missing Trent. But they're not missing Alisson. They're not missing Van Dijk. They're not missing Salah, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Diaz, Gakpo. You name it, they're not missing those players. So you're dealing with pretty much a full-strength Liverpool side, okay? So you're going to have to be up for a scrap. And there's going to be times tonight that you're going to have to dig in, and you're going to have to sit there, and you're going to have to defend a barrage, a bombardment, and quite a bit of pressure. And it might be a 10, 15-minute spell where they are just pinning you back, and can you withstand that? That's going to be key tonight. And I said, first 20 minutes, if you can get through that 0-0, the chances of you going through dramatically increase. And that's my genuine thought and feeling. It will dramatically increase just purely because you've withstood the first storm. You're going to get another storm in the first half. But if you withstand that first storm, play football for 10, 15 minutes, there's going to be a second one coming. But in that 10, 15-minute spell, potentially after that first storm, can you do something in there? Spurs scoring the goal, right? The first goal is really the game changer. The first, is it funny to say that first goal wins potentially? Potentially so. This Liverpool team is a monster at the moment. They are the best team in world football. They're the healthiest team apparently in world football as well, which is quite impressive. But they are also the best team. Can you get at them defensively? Yes, you can. We've seen it. Spurs ourselves. We've seen it ourselves. We this season in 2 games averaged 2 goals a game against them. So you can get at these guys. You're not going to have Slanky in this game. Madison's missing out. You're missing out quite key guys, right? You're going to have to be at it today. And those players that are coming in, your Spence's, he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to go toe-to-toe with Salah. And as they say in American football, as a quarterback and wide receiver, you're left on an island. And at times today, he is going to be left on an island with Salah. he needs to be able to stand up against him. Now, he was great against Brian Mbeumo. Salah's another level, though. And yes, he was great in the first leg against him. Fantastic. And he neutralised him. I always think Anfield Salah and away form Salah, I just got a different vibe about him. The ball seems to bounce from a different way. It's like a weird magical spell that he has, and it bounces his way a little bit more. And it's constant as well. Now, the beautiful thing is you haven't got the attacking threat of Trent going against you down that right wing as well. So Conor Bradley defensively is better than Trent, but offensively, it's night and day. Now, he can offer you something offensively, Conor Bradley. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying best attacking right back in the world is always going to be a level above your backup. Now, what that means is maybe you might get a bit more space down that wing. Maybe actually they're going to bomb forward more on the left-hand side, then actually they're going to be a bit more reserved on the right-hand side and maybe tuck Conor Bradley in a little bit more potentially. Not saying he would or wouldn't, I'm just saying there's that potential. What does that give Son? Because Son will be starting left wing. And your big game players need to step up. And look, you're missing your number one striker. You're missing your number one creative player. You're missing your number one goalkeeper. You're missing your number one left back. You're missing your two centre halves. You're missing a lot of big name players in that team. If we were fit and they were fit, I'd give us a damn good chance. I'm not going to give us as much of a chance because obviously we are down so terribly bad on injuries still. But cup games, you never know. And genuinely, I really do hone in on this point. Strong and resilient, like the first leg. You're not going to stop every shot. Kinski is going to be busy tonight. But you stand up defensively. You stand up on set pieces because Van Dijk, he is a problem on set pieces. Watching as much as I've watched Liverpool this season, set pieces wise, he is a problem. Can you stand up against Van Dijk? Can you really get into that midfield? And could a Rodrigo Bentancur run a bit wild? We haven't really seen that, like, for a little while. We haven't seen that Bentancur performance that all Spurs fans go, that's why he's our best midfielder. We haven't seen enough of it this season, obviously. I know he's been injured and missed time and things like that. But could tonight be the night where he goes, boom, watch this, unbelievable performance, and he dominates a midfield? Because he has the ability to dominate that midfield tonight. You know, is it a game where Basuma here is completely switched on defensively? I mean, I've watched him recently and his interceptions have been fantastic. Yeah, sometimes with the ball, it's been a bit hit and miss, but defensively, he's actually been pretty solid. Can he continue that? But then also that ball that's going to get flashed into him and he's going to have Sabozla up his back, or he's going to have, you know, Curtis Jones or a McAllister or a Gravenberg. Can he withstand that? Can he spin away from that? Get the ball into Porro, move on. Can we get going that way? Potentially. But there's going to be times where you're going to have to play through the Liverpool press. And if you can play through their press, you can get towards that back line. And you can get at that back line. I genuinely believe you can get at that back line. But let's see how it goes. I have missed a load of comments. I apologise. Good morning and afternoon and evening to you all. Baz, Hawkeye, Steve Adiz, Eric, Dragon, Ozzy, Sonia, Spurs, have I missed? Barden, Jazz, Luke, Zainuddin, Bardan, Louis, all of you. How are you all? Al Dente, member obviously for a month now. Best wishes to all here. Thanks for being a part of the community for this channel. Great content, Andy. Coys, let's win. Then go beat Newcastle. I love it, Eddie. Al Dente, sorry. I love it, mate. I absolutely agree. So yes, let's quickly talk about that. Obviously, the game yesterday, we know if we were to go through who we would play in the final, it is Newcastle beating Arsenal home and away 2-0. They win on aggregate 4-0. They looked good yesterday. I think Arsenal played into their traps, don't get me wrong, but that's who we're going to play. I'm not going to worry about them, though, until we get to the final, if we do. But there you go. That's who we play. Now, look, this game tonight, I'm buzzing for. I can't stress enough. I love these games. I loved at school when there'd be a football game, there'd be a rugby game, and I'm just always up. Even like your bog standard games, I was up for. When it was a game that meant something, hype. So I'm buzzing for this game, and I hope the players really embrace that anxiety and stress and go, hey, that's what comes when you're playing a semi-final of a cup competition. Embrace that pressure. You harness it and use it. And that's what the best teams do. They don't get scared of that pressure. They embrace it. They harness all that energy and they use it to help them, not to hinder them. So look, a game tonight, I think a lot of people saying, let's play Matisse Tell. For me, I wouldn't. I'd still play Richarlison. I'd play Richarlison for maybe like 60 minutes. And then I'd throw Matisse Tell on for just energy. He's a big guy as well. He's not a small guy, but just energy, the press. He's a good, solid finisher of the ball as well. If he can get a chance, he's going to do something with it. But I just think big games, energy games where you need a bit of an oomph. One of those, put yourself about. Richarlison, Merseyside legend when it comes to Everton. He's going to be raring for this game. And I think that's where I would go. I think I'd have Tell on the bench. Like I said, my team, when I said it, obviously we did it before Ange's presser. My team, when I said I'd have Kinski and go. I know there was chatter that Vic could be back for this game. A part of me goes, not this game. I'd have, because Kinski played in the first leg and looked really, really good. And he's looked really good, really, for us. I'd have Kinski in goal. I'd have Spence at left back. I'd have Porro at right back. I'd have Davies and Dancer at the back. And I know it's trial of fire. And maybe you go, look, you've got an inexperienced back line other than Porro and Davies. Spence is still quite new to top flight football. You've got a goalkeeper that's back fit and healthy who's played over a season of top flight football. He knows Porro. He knows Davies. Maybe that's the way you go, because if you've got a new centre-half, he probably wants to be surrounded by people that know exactly what they're doing when they need to do it. And maybe Vic is the right guy for that. And I don't, if you want to play Vic, I don't mind it. But it could be something you want some experience back there. And I would get that. The midfield, I loved what we did with Brentford. I loved the idea of Bissouma and Bentancur more so being like sixes. I have no issues with going that. I think sixes, both of them being six, and Bentancur or Bissouma, depending on where the ball falls in the game and things like that, one of them goes and they go on the attack. It could be Bissouma going and Bentancur sitting. It could be the other way around. But I like the idea of both of them having that ability to play that six. And when you are digging in, and you do need to dig in, and you will need to dig in, having those two guys to dig in would be fantastic. I mean, there is obviously a conversation around Sarr and surrounding Bergvall, but a part of me likes Sarr's energy for the last half an hour, like we did with Brentford. I thought he was brilliant in that game, coming on, loads of energy, getting around, putting tackles in, getting on the end, and obviously scoring. I think having the ability with someone who can get on the ball with a bit more of a finesse and a bit more of a technique like a Bergvall, I think would suit us better. Yeah, and it's, people saying, he could get rattled by that Anfield fan base after what happened in the first leg. And I would get you saying, let's play Sarr in there. But then it's like you have no real creativity between those three guys. And you are basically saying, we're going to play on the counter and hope for the best. And there's going to be times where that's going to be great. But there's also times where you will get the ball and you will get to be able to play your football. And having a guy like Bergvall who can spin away from a tackle, who can, who can really pick a pass a bit better than those three guys at times, I think will be more crucial. I think the front three is Son, Richarlison and Kulu for me. I know people are talking about Tell and they're excited about Tell. The reason why, Kinski started his first game, where Danso is probably going to start his first game, is because the guys are injured all in those positions. With Tell, I'm looking at it going, well, that's your starting left winger. That was your right winger that started the season. And that's a £60 million striker who was supposedly the Harry Kane replacement. Play those three. They've been good recently as well. Richie scored goals. Sonny obviously has been really impactful. Kulu's been our best player this season. I would go like that. And then I would go Tell for the last half hour. I wonder what you guys think of that. So let me go through it again to give you an idea. Kinski or Vicario in goal, depending on if Vic's really raring to go. I don't really mind either way. Spence, Porro, Davies, Danso, Bissouma, Bentancur, Bergvall, Son, Richie, Kulu. What do we think? Do we hate my team? Do we love my team? What do we think? Archie, Bentancur and Kulu midfield. Tell, Richie, Son. Hey, Donna, how are you? I think Gray will be ready. He's been good at centre-back out of position, so in position he can thrive. Backline will be Spence, Davies, Danso, Gray. So, yeah, Eric sort of agrees. I'm going to talk about Archie. I'm going to talk about Archie in just a second, and I'm going to give you my reason as to why I'm actually going to be rotating him out. I'll give you my reason. Don't worry. Kinski, Spence, Danso, Davies, Porro, Benscore, Basuma, Bergval, Son, Richie, Kulu. So, yeah, we're the same. You and I, Bazza. Dare to be excited for this game. Absolutely. Think play similar to Brentford game with more deep press, then bust them open on the counter. Would be mad to leave Gray out. Gray with this. Archie has enough experience as defence and protect Porro on the right. Would Tell be starting? Look, Tell could start. I just think having him on the bench and throwing him on for the last half hour would probably be the way I go. I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting to start Tell, but I just think you have actually options in the attack that have done well recently. And also, don't forget the other thing I would factor in, which I don't think I'm not seeing enough people factor this in. Set pieces wise, Liverpool are a fairly big team. Gakpo's not a small guy, and he's one of the smaller. Like, he's not one of the smaller players, but he's good in the air. He's solid, right? You've also got Van Dijk, who's a monster. Konate's a monster. You know, Conor Bradley's no slouch in the air. Gravenberg's a pretty decent sized guy as well. When you look at Spurs, you've got Danso and Davies. Bentancur you might throw into that, but you've not really got anyone else. That's why I'm saying Richarlison, because having Richie at the front post, like what we used to do with Kane, and what we've done with Solanke this season, I think has been night and day us improving on set pieces, because you've got a guy at the front post who's good in the air. And Richie is good in the air. And he's been massive. He's been defending centre-backs at times this season when it comes to set pieces. So that's also a part of me as well. Front post guy, that's why I'm saying. I'm not saying Tell's a small guy or anything like that, but having Richie on there who knows this game, he knows Liverpool, he knows Anfield, he's scored at Anfield, he's had success when he plays Liverpool. I think that's why you play him. You throw Tell on for the last half hour and just let him use his pace and energy to run a little bit riot. That's that was just my thinking. You're not wrong for wanting to start Tell, but that was my thinking. Set pieces and the fact this guy hates Liverpool in a good way. Let's have a look. Can't try something new with Archie in a semi-final. There's a part of me as well that kind of goes, I know what I've got in Bentancur. You know, if you get a Basuma who's switched on, he's going to be good today. But he needs to be switched on. Archie, I just haven't seen him at 6 enough. And we're taking a risk with Danso. If you want to play Tell, you're taking a bit of a risk as well. And Bergval's a young guy. A part of me goes, play the experienced heads. That was my thinking when it came to Gray. Not saying he can't play 6. I'm not saying he's not a good player. If you've been a fan of this channel for the last, 4 or 5 months, every single time I talk about Archie Gray, I say he's going to be a rock star. He's going to be an England international for years to come. He's played a lot of football recently, and I think a bit of rotation probably would do him no harm either. That's my other thinking. And you still, and also you still have the ability to bring him on if necessary. And having him on the bench will give you options at left back, centre back, right back, and centre mid. The utility guy on the bench if necessary. I don't think it's a bad thing either. That was just my thinking, okay? But I love Archie Gray. I think he's been probably our second best player this season behind Kulu. So I think he's an absolute bloody legend. So, there we go. He does have a cool head. Yeah, Tell's good in the air. Kinski, Porro, so Davey, Spence, Gray, Rodrigo, Sarr, Decky, Richie, Tell. So you're dropping, so Barden's dropping Bergval. He's dropping Son, and he's dropping Basuma. That's a big call. Big call. Not having Solanke's an issue. We scored the goal last time because of him. He can use his physical. I would say, look, Richie's quite a physical guy as well. And I think he can get on the ball aerially a bit like a Solanke as well. That was my thinking, if you know what I mean. Let Spence open his pocket and put Salah in there like he did with Mbeumo or like he did with Salah in the first leg. I really just want Kulu in the middle. Yeah, I get why people want Kulu in the middle, hence why you'd play Tell. But part of me also goes, you don't have as many options in the attack as you do in the midfield. So that's why I'm saying if you start Kulu on the right, you can always move him into the midfield 60 minutes in if you wanted to. And hell, I'd even have him, cut inside and let Porro go on the overlap. And you can then have him more featured through the midfield because he's moved inside a bit, just even from being on the wing. Because that's what we've had some success with recently is Kulu and Spence with overlapping, What What else will miss? Richie is definitely up front. Ange will never bench Richie for this game, and I think he's right to do that. I'll play Tell on the right. Yeah, no, I like Tell. And look, I think having him on the right's fine. I'd say you might be limiting your attacking options a little bit though, and I feel you're going to need the attacking options at some point in this game, and that was my having Richie up on the right would then give you more intel to bring off the bench if necessary. So it gives you a couple of options as well. And also, Tell's only been here a few days. Like we don't need to rush him in. He's probably going to get some good minutes against Villa as well. So first goal wins. Blissy. Usually we used to play football at the park. It was last goal wins. It's changing. That's first goal wins. Davies and Danso. Davies play well and he's experienced. And Danso also experienced speedy and physical. And we're going to need his physicality and height today. I really do think so. Steampunk, how are you, mate? Big D, mate, how are you? Is Poor out the game tonight? Not as far as I'm aware. He's still in. I think Mikey and Archie are going to be England internationals. Tell will bring something new because Liverpool defenders won't know what he's. Well, I'm just thinking, if that's the thinking, I'm thinking, James, why don't you save him? Throw him on with half an hour to go when they're a bit more tired. And then going, who the hell is this fella? I've watched Tell him by many times. He does not fit us. Oh, interesting. Richie to win a penalty. Son scores. Kinski, Porro. Ozzy, you've done my head in with this team selection idea because you've got players all over the place. Can you adjust it where players should play and in accordance because I don't think Bentancur's playing centre back, but you still got Dancer on this list, so I'm a bit confused. If you can help me, my brain's not working well enough. I'd rather Son finish off the game potentially. Richie to keep Van Dijk occupied. He'll be up there. He'll be ready to scrap with him for 60 minutes, and that's what I like that as well. Richie for scrapping 60 minutes up at Van Dijk and Canate. I'm here for it. And by the way, he won't be rattled by that atmosphere. I agree to start with Richie because we're going to need that out ball early in the game, but he definitely isn't fit to an hour max because I do worry about him potential red card. No, he won't get red card. But I do agree, 60 minutes of Richie today, Tell on. Let him run around. Richie needs to start with his shithouse. Nice. Petrossi, how are you, my friends? Richie, 6 minutes, I'll Tell go centre. Thoughts on Ange? Yeah, I'm going to come to that comment from Ange in a second. Great sign of the season. Sorry. Look, the dog is barking. Apologies. Yeah, Luke, appreciate that. Apologies. Dog is barking. I've got to go walk him in a minute. That'll chill him out. Look, when Ange said, when he was talking about Matisse Tell, they asked him about Ange, and they go, look, this Matisse Tell, he's on loan. He's got an option to buy. And I think Ange kind of just sort of shot that down and went, I'm not signing him for 6 months. I love that energy. That energy is what I think this earth is missing more of in day-to-day life. Just straight shooting to the point. And Aussies are brilliant for this. Aussies are straight shooting to the point. British people, we sort of dance around questions and like a boxer trying to dodge punches. We're like that when it comes to topics and things like that. Look, I love that confidence. Obviously, only time will tell, but what do you want to say? Yeah, we've only got 6 months, so we're going to use him for that and we'll send him back. I want him to be like, he's going to be here. What are you about? He's here next season. And I love that confidence. So I like that. I like that. I like some of your shouts on the teams, by the way, guys. I do like him. I do like him. Is your dog called Ledley? He does. He's not. But it'd be. I'll tell you what. If I get another dog, I might call him Ledley. But no, it's his name's Alex. So there you go. Thanks, Daniel Levy. Is that Aussie mentality? Absolutely. Time will tell. Oh, time will tell. That's just awful, Luke. Awful. Never die attitude. Absolutely. Look, I love the attitude from Ange, and I think we need more of it. So let's just see. I think time will tell on all these things, but let's just see. But yeah, obviously that option to buy includes the idea that Tell has more of a say in terms of will he move permanently. But let's be real. Like, if he does well, we do well, maybe a bit of success. I think it's fair to say there's a good damn chance he would want to stay. Let me tell you something. That was You who said time will tell. Oh, did I? Sorry, was not intentional. No, Daniel. Never let your foot off their throat. Absolutely, Andy trying us with the tailpipe. I'm not doing it, Luke. I'm not doing it. But let me tell you something. No, Harry Kane flavor news. Matt Law from the Telegraph talking about Harry Kane's release clause. Saying Harry Kane does have a release clause in his contract. The January that was just been, so a week ago, he had a release clause of £67 million. Okay. Next January, it will be £54 million. So it drops by 13. Now, look, I saw people going, why didn't we spend that 67 million and bring him back? It's like, do you really think Harry Kane wants to come back when he's having an absolutely unbelievable season? They're in the Champions League. They're going to win the Bundesliga. Leverkusen, I think, just about scraped through in the DFB Pokal last night. So you'd think Bayern are absolutely nailed on favourites to win that. And if he wins a double, he's the top goal scorer in Europe. Obviously, lots of assists. Maybe they, Bayern have got Celtic in the qualifying of the next round for the Champions League. You think they're going to get through that? Maybe they go to the semi-final of the Champions League. He's, scored a ton of goals in the Champions League. There's a situation he could be on for a Ballon d'Or. I genuinely think that because FIFA and UEFA twerk over different leagues not named Premier League because they hate the dominance of the Premier League. Hence why Harry Kane was a good striker in the Premier League, even though, he was top goal scorer. He was top assist maker in the same season, didn't win player of the season. It was Ruben Dias for some godforsaken reason, who's not even the best centre-back in the league at that year. They're out of the DFB Pokal, are they? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. But look, if he was to do well in those competitions, he's not going to throw it away now. Now, look, next season, it's a bit different. He might obviously have a situation where he goes, actually, I wouldn't mind coming back to England. I miss it and things like that. But I don't think it'll be a January move. I've always thought this summer coming, he would want to return after a couple of years away. I could see it maybe being the year after, because at 33, his game's not set on speed, is it? The reason he had to drop into midfield so many times to get the ball is because we couldn't bloody get the ball into him with any real quality. Bayern Munich with Elise out there, by the way. Elise is incredible, but Elise with Sane, Coman, Gnabry, Musiala, Kimmich, they fire the ball into the box at every point possible to find Harry Kane. The reason why he's got so many goals is because they're playing everything into him. We never did. He had to go do it himself. He had to score his own goals, and then he had to set everyone else up. So that's why I don't think he's returning even next summer. I always thought he would, but I don't think he's going to. It'll probably be the year after, to be honest. So there you go. Kane to Arsenal. Yeah, okay. He doesn't like Arsenal, so not a chance. It won't be Liverpool. Although, yeah, I don't think it'll be Liverpool. Although, even though he would obviously do well at Liverpool, it won't be City. Chelsea are probably looking at it going, could we get him? Man United, maybe, because Højlund and Xerxes between them aren't even half as good as Kane. And that, Ratcliffe likes English players and they'd probably spend 600 grand a week on his wages. But I think Spurs do have first refusal. It's this, does he want to come to Spurs again? Because I do think this, I will say this now, getting the all-time goal scoring record in the Premier League will be a fantastic achievement. If he doesn't do it at Spurs, I don't think it will mean as much as it would, genuinely. Because Spurs fans will go, yeah, Harry was great and all that stuff. And they'll go, what about his time at? And we'll go, we don't care. And you're only going to get fan base. You're going to get a lot of fan, I don't think you're going to get enough fan bases going to bat for Harry Kane being potentially the greatest striker in Premier League history. Obviously, we'll fight for that. We'll think he is, but I don't think you're going to get anyone else doing that. Maybe it's a new club that he'd score those goals for, but you know what I mean? Harry's going to play for a few more seasons. Yeah, don't you worry. He's best striker in the world at the moment anyway, so he's having a belter of a time in Munich. It'll be Everton or Palace on a pre-retirement tour. Wow. Say what you want about United, their pedigree. I don't even think it's about pedigree anymore, mate. I just think it's about them willing to pay stupid wages. Hence why they have so many issues getting rid of players. If Marcus Rashford is earning 325 grand a week, then Harry Kane might as well get paid £1 million a week. We bullied them in the midfield last game. Last game, as close to same again. I do what we done against City and last season. Sarr, False Nine, Kinski, Porro, Danso, Gray, Jed, Spence. Biss, Spence, Barval, Kulu, Sanson. You're dropping Davies. Interesting. Came and return for Levy's here. I think Arsenal. He won't go to Arsenal. He's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He knows he won't go to Arsenal, and he knows if he goes there, he knows what happens with Sol Campbell. Even if you think Harry Kane might be an idiot, he's not that much of an idiot. And he won't be able to use the race card either, will he? There is no team that suits Harry Kane except United in the Premier League in the top clubs. No, Chelsea suit him. Chelsea suit him to the T. Ineos won't pay. Ratcliffe might, but he won't. 6 million. Chelsea rival. It is written. But there you go. Look, tonight I'm looking forward to the game. I'm buzzing for the game. It's obviously it's now 7 hours and 14 minutes away. So still a long time. 7 hours 30 minutes away. Sorry, long time to go. Let's see how it all transpires. But I am buzzing for the game. And look, we got to go in there with confidence. We got to go in there with energy. Players got to stand up tonight. And you're 180 minutes away from winning a trophy. Because I tell you what, I genuinely think if you get to the final and you're playing Newcastle, you got to think the final would probably be about 3 to 4 weeks' time. Mickey's back fit. Romero's back fit. Solanke might have a chance. Doggy's back fit. Maddison's back fit. Just saying. I'm just saying. We haven't really played them with our strongest 11. And I put our strongest 11 against every other strongest 11 in the Premier League. I really do. We've beaten all the big boys. Pretty much. When we've had them, at least. So, you got to look at it like that. 180 minutes. You get winning trophy. And then you know what? A little bit of cup form. Because we've been great in the cup this season. Whatever you think about the league, we've been brilliant in cups this season. Then you got Villa at the weekend. You got a bit of cup momentum continued into Villa at the weekend. And I think because of Villa's injuries, you can get at Villa. You can. So that's the way we need to look at it. Let's be positive and we move. All right? Up the bloody Spurs. We may be doing the live afterwards if I'm not asleep because I'm pretty much knackered by 10 p.m. It may be tomorrow, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Go and enjoy the rest of your afternoons, mornings, evenings, wherever you're in the world. And I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Hopefully, talking about Spurs being in the final. Take care, everyone. Peace.